God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you're all having a good day. Looking forward to the rest of this week as we descend from the hump day into the weekend. I have a few stories I wanted to talk about today, and I was debating on whether or not I was going to do them all in one video, and I ultimately decided, you know what, why not? I haven't seen any evidence that cramming them all into the same video means that I'm going to get fewer views, so why not? Let's just run them all together. First one, when is CNN going to learn that doing these panels of Trump voters is not good for their message? The last one that I watched that CNN put on was the Charlottesville town hall, and they did not get the results that I'm sure they were expecting. And if you go and look on YouTube and just type in CNN Trump voters panel, you get about a dozen results. It's striking to me that they continue to do this. It's almost masochistic at this point. I would assume that none of these panels have gone the way that they think they're going to go. But I wonder how many have gone as badly as this most recent panel on the 60 Minutes interview. I want to share with you a soundbite from this interview. I'll share the link in the description so that you can watch the whole thing for yourself. I would show the whole thing to you, but, copyright and things like that. Listen and tell me if you think you've heard these words, these talking points before.
And as some strongly suggested, all part of a media plot to bring down Donald Trump.
You can throw all of that stuff up in our face as many times as you want, but that means that we will work harder for Trump. Is that not so, ladies?
That's correct. This is the media defining the narrative. The people, we the people, are ready to define the narrative. And it's not about tawdry sexual peccadillos.
In order for somebody to come...
Now, that's the end of the bite. Who does that sound like to you? I don't mean to be braggadocious or say that I've got my finger on the pulse of the American people. But I've said things like that before. In videos like this, the media have the power to choose whatever narrative they like. And they do so at times. They've done so with the Daniels-Trump scandal. They could have ignored this event. They could have pretended like it didn't exist. They've done so with other events in the past. And it's not just me. It's not just hardcore conservatives anymore that are seeing and saying these things about the media and about their influence on political discourse. Go and watch this video. It's incredible, some of the things that these women are saying about this interview. Now, let us go to the next event we're going to talk about. I already mentioned that the preliminary reports on the attendance of the March for Our Lives rally that happened over the weekend were that the attendance was much less than it was initially reported. And the more that we hear about the attendance of this event, the more that we're hearing is that it's not what the organizers of the event told us it was going to be. This from Fox News: despite media narrative, study says teenagers made up just 10% of March for Our Lives crowd. A university professor studying large-scale protests in Washington says the media is giving the wrong impression about who made up the crowd. My research tells a different story. Apparently, 90% of the crowd were adults. The average age of the adults in the crowd was just under 49. 10% of the participants were under 18. This from a sample of 256 individuals. That is a little... Let me see. That's 0.1% of the attendance, according to the count of Digital Design and Imaging Service, who used aerial photos to determine that the peak attendance of the crowd was 202,000 people. This running contrary to organizers who claimed that 850,000 people attended the event. I have another column about this event that I wanted to share with you today. This from Bruce Thornton at Front Page Mag, who the headline is kind of shocking, pun entirely intended. Teenagers make great progressive shock troops. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll let you go and do that for yourself. But a lot of this talks about the optics around using children and teenagers to push political agendas and what it means to try and debate this kind of thing. There's a lot of information in here, a lot of pointing out how the importance in debates like this are less about the agenda and more about who is pushing the agenda. I highly recommend that you go and read it for yourself. It would take me too long, and I think would be too boring just to read it word for word. I highly recommend. The last thing I want to talk about is the citizenship question that is apparently going to be in the 2020 census, and everyone is losing their minds, especially on the left. This column from CNN raises some of the points that the left has been making about the citizenship question, and let us look at some of them. The Justice Department requested that this question be added to the census in the early days of the Trump administration, according to this column. The president's re-election campaign has endorsed the move, and according to this portion of the CNN column, census data is used to determine where federal funds are spent and how congressional districts are drawn, among other uses. The census is intended to count the entire population, not just U.S. citizens. Now, why is that paragraph a little fishy? The census is, that sentence, I guess, the census is intended to count the entire population, not just U.S. citizens. The question, no, I don't want to listen to you cut straight to what you call the facts, CNN. The question, are you a U.S. citizen, is going to be added to the census. The question will be reinstated. That means that the question was in the census beforehand. The question will be included in the 2020 census. That means it's not going to be the only question. So why is CNN now saying that the census is intended to count not just U.S. citizens? Could it be that CNN wants you to think that illegal immigrants or non-citizens are going to be discouraged from answering the census? You know, that's not actually what's going to be the case. The census is just going to ask, are you a citizen? The census, as I understand it, is anonymous. That your name is not reported to the Census Bureau. That the Bureau doesn't use this information to report who said what. Just the demographics information of the respondents. The question raised concerns that a citizenship question, that's a strange sentence to me, would cause undocumented individuals not to complete the questionnaire and leave a large population uncounted, with potential consequences for the next decade and beyond. Here we go. The Commerce Department said the citizenship question will be the same one that is asked by the yearly American Community Survey. Citizenship questions have been included on prior decennial censuses between 1820 and 1950. Almost every decennial census asked a question on citizenship in some form. Today, surveys of sample populations continue to ask a question on citizenship. So why is the census not allowed to ask the question on citizenship, but these surveys are? Could it be that people don't want us to know what the population of the what percentage of the population is immigrants? Could it be that if we find out that the immigrant population is much, much larger than previously reported, could it be that we would know that there are more illegal immigrants in the country that we've been told in the past? Could it be that knowing the true number of non-citizens in this country, it could reveal or could shine some light on illegal voting in this country? Just interesting things to think about. You know, I, for one, don't think that the fears being expressed by the CNN column are legitimately founded. What evidence is there that asking a person their citizenship is going to suppress their response to the census? It's not like these people are voting. They don't need an ID. They don't have to go to a courthouse to do anything. They just have to fill out a piece of paper and put it in the mail. You know, not hard things to do, I would imagine. Not things that racist people would imagine that brown people can't do. You know, I would expect that everybody would be able to answer the census. I would expect that everybody would be honest in their reporting on their demographics and their citizenship status. I would expect that everybody would be able to do this. So I don't see why CNN thinks it's going to suppress a certain demographic of the population, unless CNN thinks that these individuals are inferior to white people. I just wanted to check and see what that briefing item was. I think that's going to do it for this video. I've talked about all the things that I wanted to talk about, managed to mash them all into one video. I hope that you all enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Hit subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you want to see more. It's important to hit the bell because if you don't, YouTube doesn't tell you when a new video comes out for this channel. As I said in yesterday's video, it's just been revealed from the mouth of YouTube executives that they do not send you every notification from every channel you've subscribed to. They expressly said that you only get every notification from the channels you subscribe to if you hit the bell. There's 2 requirements for a full subscription to every channel now. So make sure you do that if you want to catch every single video from my channel. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on these issues. Do you think that asking a citizenship question on the U.S. Census is a bad idea? Is a good idea? Would it be an illegal thing? Would it be an immoral thing? Let me know what you think about the March for Lives rally. How significant is it that the rally was significantly less attended than organizers initially told us? And let me know what your thoughts are on the CNN Trump voter panel on the 60 Minutes interview. All those things I would love to hear your thoughts on. More reports to come in future days. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a single video. Until next time, good night and God bless.